Hey, good morning, Patriots. Good to see you all because, well, it's good to be seen. And I see you, we see you, and we're thankful for you seeing us and us seeing you, unburdened by the past, so we can be enthusiastic about the future. To paraphrase Kamala Harris. And man, oh man, did we dodge a bullet there? So, without further ado, speaking of dodging bullets, I'm joined by Chris Cordani. Chris, are you there?
As always, I try to be here. I'm somewhat here, if you will. It's a Thursday. I'm not used to this, so this is all good.
I know. I've got a sinus headache that's kicking my ass. So I'm going to soldier my way through this. We have storms coming today, so from anytime storms come, I've got these sinus headaches which roll on. So we'll hopefully not have that influence things today. But good to see you, Chris.
Yeah, so
Let's
you
jump
you
right
have a
into what's that? Go ahead.
you have a big headache, right? You said?
I have a big headache,
Yeah,
and its
a
name is
huge
Kamala
headache, right?
Harris.
Yeah, you have a huge headache. Well, I remember there's an old Exxon commercial. Remember the old Exxon commercials where the guy said, "I have a headache and it's this big." So I'm thinking, "Hey, I'm Joseph Merrick and I have a headache this big." Anyway, that's terrible. That's the Elephant Man.
Yes. Okay.
Headache
Well, way
this
to go,
big.
Chris. Good. Good
This
to
is
set the
bad.
tone.
All right.
So,
Yes,
all right,
I'm doing
I
that
know. I
today.
think I think the folks know what you were saying. So anyway,
Yeah,
so
I know
let's
the
let's well
tumbleweeds
speaking
came out.
speaking of elephants in the room, wasn't that a great meeting with Joe Biden? What's that? Excuse me. All right, go. Let's start again. So what did you say? I didn't understand a word you just said.
I didn't say anything. Oh, unless it was Joe
Hello.
Biden. Well,
Oh
Joe Biden, and
well,
Donald
no.
Trump
What I
met.
was saying,
Right.
yeah, well, I was saying there's an elephant in the room yesterday with Joe Biden and uh, President Trump. And
Right.
it was interesting because Joe Biden couldn't have looked happier. What did you think?
Well, I actually think this was I mean, it was obviously staged. The whole idea is for the Democrats to try to show the world that they're going to push forth a smooth transition. Well, the undermining of
Yeah.
Trump is already starting behind the scenes. It's not getting covered as much,
Oh, I'm
except for
sure.
maybe a couple of insults. But look, Pennsylvania is already the Pennsylvania Democrat Bob Casey's already trying to undermine the election. He's denying his loss. I understand he is entitled to a recount if he wants some, but apparently the Democrats want the illegal ballots also counted in
Yes,
Pennsylvania so they can skew
of
towards
course.
his seat. So they're trying to steal one there. We already know Wisconsin has the same kind of issue where I don't know a disproportionate amount of ballots overnight happen to go towards this guy Eric
Strange, huh?
Hervé's opponent,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, to Baldwin. There we go. That's her name. So they're starting this, and they're pretending that, well, look at us. We're going to be peaceful. We're smiling. We're making everything easy for Donald Trump when they're really not doing so.
Yeah. So I think it's a great point because so much of what they do is theater. Now that they've lost, they're trying to say, oh, no, no, we're going to be very gracious. They're not.
No.
I'm in a group called the Pentagon Budget Campaign. Shout out. The folks in that are literally on the left melting down. They're like children. I warned them I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. You
Right.
have people in that chat on the left. This is supposed to be nonpartisan. The whole focus of Pentagon Budget Campaign is to look at Pentagon budget.
Right.
It's in the name. But now, and I pointed this out to one of the seniors who kind of went off the rails because she kind of semi apologized about her comments. I was like, look, we didn't do this when Lloyd Austin, who I consider the ultimate expression of DEI, I said it last night on Carl Higby's show. When I said, because I know the man, he's not smart. And we didn't complain. We didn't act like children when Jake Sullivan came in to be the NSA, who basically we knew would be as bad as he has been, just saying. So I pointed out, it's like, this is nonsense. You all are behaving like children. So, yes, Biden is trying to set a good example, being all, oh, kindler, gentler. And I think he's happy. I think he's about to be to unburden himself. He is because he's going into permanent retirement, permanent vacation. But my concern, Chris, is that's only the trappings because behind the scenes, they're all going nuts. And I can tell you that the Pete Hegseth thing has set them off. The Matt
Yeah.
Gates thing has really set them off.
Yep.
The Tulsi thing, which like Tulsi used to be one of you. Oh
Right.
no, it's going to be terrible. So I can just tell you that it's all bad, and to your point, it's not going to get any better. So,
Here's the funny thing: when a woman's appointed by a Democrat, especially an unqualified one, like I don't know, uh, their presidential nominee this year, or maybe their most recent Supreme Court nominee, it's misogyny if you criticize them. But if you
yeah,
criticize somebody who's qualified and happens to not be a leftist, all of a sudden she's a horrible pick and unqualified. And what is this guy thinking? That's
I
the way
I
the left is the left are the true misogynists here. They're just
yeah I
lying about selective.
I posted I posted a picture of Tulsi and I in her office back when she was a member of Congress on X yesterday. Great response, but I posted it for a reason. It's kind of like, dude, a lot of us Republicans were dealing with a Democrat back in the day. We were actually working in a nonpartisan way to achieve specific outcomes that would protect Hawaii. Imagine that. Chris, can you imagine a member of Congress working with the opposition party to protect their people? Can you imagine that?
I don't know.
I
I think it
mean,
used to happen a long time ago. I don't remember what it was. I also remember Donald Trump, even a little while ago, when he was president, he tried to work with the Democrats when it came to an infrastructure bill. But apparently, he was told by both parties that that's not how things are done. It's
right.
funny.
Yeah.
Washington is
So
broken.
yeah, right. So it's it's time to get it unbroken, and he's picking some people I think is going to do that anyway. And the Patriots know I've never hidden this. I know Tulsi, I consider her a friend. I know Pete Hegseth, I consider him a friend. I know Mike Waltz. We're friends. I mean, we're not close. I think I'm closer to Tulsi and to Pete, but we're friendly. So I know these people, and I take offense, and I got offended by this Pentagon budget campaign when they started going off on my friends. It's kind of like, dude, seriously, you got to be kidding me. And so there's the picture of Tulsi and me
That's a
on
good
my
shot.
ex.
I like
It is
that.
a good shot. And that was my point, is that she was a Democrat member of Congress. I was part of the Trump campaign, and geez, kumbaya, right? For
Yeah.
God's sake.
You guys are peace loving hippies and stuff like that, right?
I know. So that's why I found this whole breakdown, this freak out. Ooh, freak out. Ooh. What's
They're milk.
that thing? The fire in the background, Grover, and the burning.
Uh,
That's what they're doing.
I gotta tell you,
Uh,
the meltdowns are annoying, but they're also fun and entertaining. I say keep them coming.
yeah. Oh yeah. So speaking of meltdowns, I know you got some things you want to get to, but let's talk a little bit about why we're here. And
Right.
so we're here because Kamala Mala Ding Dong, as I call her, kind of didn't do a good job of campaigning. And the reason that she got stuck with a job, no pun intended regarding getting stuck. I'm not talking about Willie Brown here. But I think it's notable that a guy named George Clooney, remember that guy? He's an actor. Uh, Basically said that it was he made the decision initially and did an editorial saying that it was time for Joe Biden to leave. Remember that?
Right. I remember that. And
So
he was right.
apparently, yeah. So apparently, the Democrats are all blaming George Clooney. So I don't know if you heard.
They're
Yeah,
blaming everybody. Yeah, right. I saw that George Clooney for helping the guy off the stage.
yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently they're gonna date. George Clooney's big in doing remakes. He did remakes of what is it? There's a bunch of different movies he's done remakes of. One
Um,
of my favorite is
Ocean 13. Ocean's
yeah,
11 or whatever. He did Ocean's
right,
11, which was
yeah.
okay. Okay.
And he did a remake a live, which did it as live of Failsafe, which I thought was a great movie. Both the original and George Clooney's Failsafe are superb.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I like that. And
he-
he was in both ERs, by the way, the comedy
yeah,
and the drama.
yeah. And so apparently now, because they love him so much, they're going to remake Apocalypse Now, and he's going to be the water buffalo they sacrifice at the end, and it's going to be live.
Oh, I love the smell of Clooney being sacrificed.
That's right. The horror. It smelled like slow death in there.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Well, they're coming for him, I think, anyway.
They're
But
coming to
you had
take
some
him
other things
away.
you wanted to get to. So let's get to what you wanted to get to.
Well,
So
let's
go
have
ahead.
some fun, Tony, because as I said,
Sure.
I'm not a big fan of the takes of the left whining about the Trump picks so far, the Trump
Yeah.
potential picks. I prefer Tony's takes on these things.
Oh
The,
boy.
perhaps one of the most okay, well, we'll go to Gates very soon, but perhaps the most entertaining commentary of any of the picks was when Lawrence O'Donnell was yapping
Oh
on
God,
about them on MSNBC. Yeah,
Lawrence.
I know. It's time to spit out your breakfast here, but I needed to point this out. I want you to hear
Yeah.
something, and this is something that you'll pick this out really fast. But I want you to hear something about this about the Tom Homan pick,
Sure.
and you'll hear it.
Donald Trump also announced, as Rachel and I were discussing, that Tom Homan will be a so-called border czar. We do not know what that means.
Okay, we do not know what border czar means, although their candidate for president was the border czar, although they denied that that position that kind of thing actually existed when she was running because, well, she couldn't handle it. But I know that
Right.
he actually had to say it was well prepared. It was right there in front of him. We do not know what that is. I'm calling bull moves
Well,
on that one.
well, I don't think Lawrence O'Donnell knows what half the things in his house are. He's probably one of those guys that doesn't understand the garbage disposal like AOC is like, what is this thing?
Yeah, he needs a
So
toaster czar.
toasters are. Well, toasty toes. I mean, he could put like socks on and walk around and say, oh, that's nice. No, Lawrence O'Donnell is one of the people that I talk about often on the left who are so stupid they don't know they're stupid.
Right.
I mean, remember that you don't have the video of him screaming at people, watch the sound, stop that sound. I'm gonna come off here and kick and beat you up if you don't stop that sound. I mean, that's
Oh
Lawrence
yeah.
O'Donnell.
Oh,
I've been
he's a
on with him,
crazy
by the
dude.
way.
Yeah.
Did you know I've been on with him back in the old days, back when we had Kumbaya?
Yeah,
Uh,
back in the day. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, we talked to each other as we said back then. So how was that experience? Was it better than the Brian Stelter experience?
yeah. Well, I think so we should ask the folks at Patriots, do you who smells less stinky? Brian Stelter or Lawrence O'Donnell? Who has less less smell of desperation as they walk around? Who
Well,
smells
maybe
less desperate?
it's probably Rachel Maddow out of all of them. I mean,
Ooh.
that woman. I got to tell you. First off,
She probably wears Old Spice, just saying. So
well, she probably does, but I look. These anchors are still visibly upset. They're seething, and some of them are trying to hide it. But you're watching some of them, and they're still trying to hold back tears, if you will. This is a week later. I'm watching these people. It's like and Sonny Hostin and the View chicks are still trying to cope. This is a week later. It's almost, again, what we do when we lose elections, we go to work the next day. What they do is they go through the 5 stages. At this point, they're going through the 5 stages, but they never go through the last one, which is acceptance.
yeah,
Ever.
no. Well,
They're still in
I think
denial.
Lawrence will someday accept that he's going to take a pay cut because did you know? And maybe Chris, maybe this is going to happen. Did you know that MSNBC is up for sale? Have you thought about buying it? I mean, you could take those people and put them to work in your lawn as
Hold
kind of
on.
doing lawn care.
I have $30. You think they'll take it?
I don't know. If you throw in a box of Cracker Jacks, they may well take it.
You know what? For around that price, you can get one of these nifty T-shirts. By the way, too. I got mine. You were talking about this the other day.
That's right. You got it. I see it.
I got my Sherry Curry T-shirt. So there we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, I got mine right here. So for those who are curious, Cherie is selling via her website the Runaways. Chris is wearing his own Cherie Curry Runaways. This is designed by her son Jake. There it is.
Nice.
The back, the back here. You can't see his back because he's sitting down.
Right.
This
I'm
is on
sitting
Chris's
down.
back.
I'm not
He's
allowed to
sitting
turn
down.
around.
Whiskey a go-go.
Right.
Whiskey a go-go, which was my God, it's already been 2 weeks ago tomorrow. God bless. Where is the time gone? No, I'm serious. Like,
I know.
It's like, flashing by. So anyway, it's a great collector's item because it's Cherie's last domestic U.S. concert. So check it out. Price is good too. And
And she's doing a lot. She's going to be doing a lot of work, as you said before, and she said before several times to stop this. What's going on with the human trafficking? She's going to be.
We'll talk more about that with her
Right,
too.
we're going to do all that. We'll get her on again to talk about this.
Yeah.
She's been doing some overseas stuff, so when she comes back.
So these T-shirts cost. I don't know if it'll be cheaper to buy MSNBC or buy a T-shirt, but I'd go with a T-shirt. Just that's what I would do. I wouldn't buy a MSNBC.
Oh, we could. I'd buy MSNBC for the $30, and here's what I would do with it: fire everybody. Do what Javier Milei does. Take a hammer to everything. I take hammer to the Rachel Maddow show. Gone. Turn it into the Tony Shaffer show. First off, people aren't going to tell the difference first couple of days because you have almost the same. No, just kidding. That would be with Sam Cedar. But we make it the Tony Shaffer show. Then everybody's going to whine and cry. It'll be all over the internet. Then people will start watching MSNBC. Then we start hiring everybody else. So we make we take everything down. We make Ed the president. All right, and that's perfect. This way he can still keep us around and work from there. And then the ratings will go up from 65 at this point to somewhere above that. We beat every other network, and all of a sudden everybody would want in just from $30. Yeah. There we go. I could be the next.
Well, I think it's a good investment. Well, I think Paul Stone and his Colonial Metals have a better opportunity. As a matter of fact, let's talk about Paul real quick since we're on value, right?
You bet.
So since Chris brought up value and dollars, let's talk to you all about what would I'm telling you, a better investment than buying MSNBC is Colonial Metals Group, right? Right, Chris?
I again, much better than MSNBC. I would say MSNBC is the falling knife that you'll be catching. This is a lot different.
There's more value in the gold teeth of Rachel Maddow than in MSNBC. As a matter of fact, do you think you could get them to give up their gold teeth?
Yes, but not her tennis racket. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. So check it out. colonialmetalsgroup.com/Ed-Henry. Ed Henry. That's our evil overlord. Good morning, Ed. And we appreciate him appreciating us. And you will appreciate what we want to do for you, what Paul Stone wants to do for you, which is to give you access to gold and silver. You will not go wrong. You'll go right. And that's what we're talking about here. 800-805-4034, 800-805-4034. Obviously, let them know that we sent you because we're good guys and Lawrence O'Donnell is not. So the value of gold and silver will not will not go down unlike MSNBC. So don't buy MSNBC, buy gold and silver. Right, Chris? Is that good advice? I think that's good advice.
Well, let's put it this way. MSNBC would be like buying faulty uranium at this point and holding it, then licking maybe the surface of it. That's what would happen.
It's like it's like buying moldy. Yeah, it's like buying moldy tapioca. You don't want that. You don't want that. You want gold and silver. So
that's right.
Right?
So listen to Yukon Cornelius too. Silver and gold, that's what it is. You didn't see Yukon Cornelius mining for left-wing ideas.
No, he knew what he wanted, and he was very clear. He had a very clear policy, as do we, right? I mean, we're clear on this.
Yeah, we're real clear when it comes to politics. Yeah, that's a nice shout.
Well, I wish we were, because Real Clear is that's where I go. That's where I go, Real Clear Politics. But
yeah, they're good people over there.
But no, Lawrence O'Donnell, take it from us here at the show. Lawrence O'Donnell is kind of, as a kid, you'd go into the kitchen and you pick up a loaf of Wonder Bread and there's mold on it.
Right.
Lawrence O'Donnell is that equivalent in the media. He's kind of the moldy bread of the media, right, Chris?
I'll tell you that we might be the fresh bread of the. We are
the
Dave's.
fresh bread.
We're that Dave's awesome bread. You ever see that thing? The bread where the guy.
I eat that. I got it in the refrigerator. I do.
Yeah, that's what we are. But he's the old Wonder Bread that you left in the in the bread box for way too long, and then the worms start eating it, and everything else like that, and the roaches.
Yeah.
And then they get sick of it because there's too much mold on it. They don't even want to eat it.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what's happening in MSNBC. It's like moldy TV. It's like, do we have to watch that again?
Well, it's funny.
I think people are done with it.
Did you talk to the guy? There's this one guy, David Packman. He's He's a liberal commentator on YouTube. He's whining about losing all sorts of followers the day and the week after the
Oh, I
election.
saw that.
Did you see that? And the guy's like,
I
"Oh,
saw
but,
that.
are the left leaving politics?" No, you know what? I believe a lot of people on the moderate to center left are sick and tired of being lied to. They're sick and
Yeah.
tired of being told all these things about the right, and they're sick and tired of being told that the woke direction is the right way to go.
Right.
It's
So,
it's embarrassing, but he's
so
just pleading and pleading about this.
yeah. Well, I know we don't have a large as audience as he does, but we have a very patriotic and devoted audience. Did
And
we?
when I'm
This is a question for the Patriots. Did we lie to any of you during the entire time we've been hosting this? Or Ed, have we ever deceived you in any way? And I want to see in the chat if you think we did, because I don't
Yeah.
think we did. What do you think?
Yeah, if we did, we have to improve on that. Although maybe some of my bad jokes will probably be up for criticism, but that's another story for another day. We still didn't lie about those.
Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, I know there's questions about Rubio. I got to believe that President Trump talked to Marco, and I guess he didn't call him Little Marco anymore. Just saying. So I
No,
guess they're on good terms.
look,
And everybody's saying no, we haven't lied, and we're not going to lie to you. You may not like what we have to say, but I think we're going to give you the hard truth. Oh, that's a catch, right, Chris?
yeah, the hard truth and nothing but the truth. And yes, the hard truth.
That's right.
Boy, we're really doing that. We're really giving these nice plugs here and there to everybody. This is pretty awesome.
I know, it's great.
I think we're good at this.
Yeah. So I think it's very clear that Lawrence O'Donnell, he's whining. What was the name of that guy that lost his audience? You just said it.
David
press guy.
Packman. David Packman.
David
By the way,
Packman.
yep, I did get a
Yeah.
message from my guest today. By the way,
okay.
apparently just last minute, Shane Bouvet had to take his brother to the hospital. So our prayers
sorry
go
to
to
hear that.
Shane and his family. He was going to be talking with us today, and I wanted to just mention that before we get into that. So we have another guest coming, by the way, but he wrote a book called let's see, here it is, right here. He wrote a book called "A Man Misunderstood" about Donald Trump, and that's something too. He's actually again, the complaints about Rubio. I get that. I think we want to segue here because the idea is he's still trying to reach out to people who are in that middle, who are on the non-Trump side for a long time, and say, look, there's a seat at the table here. We're going to keep an eye on you. We're going to keep our guard up. But as long as you help me get rid of the real swamp creatures, I think we're good. And I do want to ask you and the Patriots about the John Thune selection as far as the Senate majority. That's something that I'm a little suspect about.
Yeah. Well, we should go through all that. I mean, I don't know if Trump is. Hold on a second.
Yeah, there we go. See, that's the big question. I know a lot of people wanted. Look, I would have loved to see John Kennedy. I don't think he wants the position, but the quips and everything that owning the liberals, that guy would have been fun to watch.
Well,
Cruz
talk
yells a
about
lot.
this for a second.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
so this is a great point. We'll bring this up because the Patriots are talking about it in chat. How sticky or stick to them should leadership be now? Do you think, Patriots, do you think we, the Republicans, I don't hide who I support, right? We're all here to support Trump.
Right.
Do you think we should be humble in victory or poke him in the eye? And obviously Kennedy would have poked him in the eye a lot, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Politely, but he would have poked him in the eye.
I'm all for being humble, honestly.
So what do you all think? Should we be humble or kind of be a little bit pokey, eye pokey, unlike other pokey things that Anthony Weiner did?
Oh, the Bill Clinton approach, if you will.
That's
The
right.
Willie Brown approach,
Chris,
if you
I
will.
feel your pain. I don't know why. Why are you talking about poking again? I don't understand that, Chris. We're going to have someone who does understand Bill Clinton.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's a good segue, right? We know someone who knows Bill Clinton, so we'll.
Oh, all right.
I don't know why you feel that way, Chris.
Well,
Anyway, we'll see how that goes. All right, so pokey. So I think we should be humble, but remind them that they lost. That's the way I'm looking at it. And I've been very demonist, as I mentioned earlier, in my little slice of heaven Pentagon budget campaign. I've been very clear. You guys are pissing off the very people who you may want to actually try to work with to reduce Pentagon spending, since Pete Hegseth, he has no loyalty to Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing. He doesn't care.
Right.
He's going to sit down and look at what the Pentagon's doing, what the Pentagon shouldn't be doing, figure out what the delta is, figure out where to find resources that can be cut, then start actually investing in new technologies, new techniques and procedures and strategy that might actually win the next war. Imagine that. And he doesn't care about phony baloney weapon systems or lobbyists. He doesn't care. So maybe those folks in the Pentagon budget campaign who wants to see cuts, maybe you ought to give them a chance and not go screaming around with your hair on fire like Elmo, the Elmo fire thing.
Well, this is what they're really afraid of. They're really afraid of the deep state being dismantled, and that's what's really going to happen. They're really crying about the whole the Doge department, the Department of Government Efficiency, which, by the way, will be gone in about 18 months, and it's pretty much the leaders. The leaders are two volunteers. They're not even going to be paid. You got Musk and you have Ramaswamy. They're going to come in, consult, find out what the heck's going on. They're going to basically be the Bobs. If you ever saw the movie Office Space. They're the Bobs.
Oh, I love Office Space.
Yep.
So what exactly do you do here? I'm a people person. Don't you understand? I'm good with people.
They keep taking my stapler. I don't want them to take my stapler. And my stapler, I really need it. And I gotta
oh my God, that's a great movie.
But that's what they're going to be. They're going to be the Bobs. And they're going to sit there, going to meet with everybody. They're going to slash things right and left. And I think that is something that the American people are going to be happy with. So now, because here's the happy medium we have to have here. And I understand, we all understand that we need to pay for Social Security. We all understand that we need a safety net for Americans who might have lost a job and want to get back on their feet and get another job. And we also need to take care of people we need to take care of. But we also want to not spend money being the world police all the time. We don't want to pay for Ukrainian pensions when we don't have our own.
I just had this discussion with Judge Napolitano. We don't agree on everything, but yes, it's something we have to work out. Yes.
But the idea is we do need some money, but we also don't need to throw away and flush it down the toilet.
Right.
And that's what these guys are going to stop doing. And one of the big wastes of time is the Department of Education. And that's another one. I'm watching Gen Zers and these millennials writing about, the Department of Education, when it's gone, bad things are going to happen. No, we only had one since the 1990s.
No,
No,
I'm with you. We should cut the Department of Education out. Just be done with it. Go back to the states like President Trump's proposed. Reduce Department of Energy down to a core mission relating to essentially doing what it's supposed to be focused on, making sure that we had adequate resources and petroleum available to the United States and to our country, to our industry. Re-energize nuclear power. We need to get back to that. It's abundant and cheap to provide all the power we need. If they really are concerned about green energy, which they're really not. And then obviously, I think we can do without 90% of EPA. The Environmental Protection Agency should be protecting against pollution. CO2 is not pollution. CO2 is plant food. So, and I see the folks talking about getting rid of the IRA. Yes, a flat tax or a tax on activities. We didn't have taxes, personal income tax until Woodrow Wilson, and I think it's the 14th Amendment or 13th Amendment, one of those that actually created this, which I still think is unconstitutional. I don't think individuals should be taxed to fund the government. There's other ways of finding revenue for the government. The more they go to the individual, the more they abuse the individual, as far as I'm concerned. So, go ahead.
It was the old days of the fiefdom, where the king would go out and say, "Wait, we need money for the kingdom. I need a new armoire. So let's tax the people again."
That's right. I need a new bidet.
Right? Yeah. There we go. My kid needs to go to Prince College or something like that. So we have to get some more money from the lowly bartender or something like that. Or the guy who runs the pub. Or the guy who's running the farms, all the lowly plebes that they think that's the way they think of us, the lowly plebes, lowly workers, or things like that. They can give us more tax money because they don't produce money. Politicians don't really produce money.
No, they don't. They are a drain. They are literally leeches sucking off the economy. Anything the government takes means that it cannot be used economically to benefit commerce or individuals. So. And by the way, at this point, Chris, there's no link between appropriation or tax. There's no link between appropriation of dollars, taxes, and expenditures. None. Zero. There's no link. Nothing that we do regarding taxes has any impact on the fact that we talked about this with Paul Stone. Remember, Paul said this.
Right.
We're to the point of where we're running up $1 trillion of debt every 100 days. That is unimaginable. You
Right.
cannot understand how big that is.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
there's no way we could afford this. So,
No, the debt is here, and he's right. Paul was right yesterday. We're stuck with the debt in a way. We can reduce it. But we can only reduce it by printing less money. And look, we can stop printing money, and it's going to hurt for a little bit, because if you remember in 2020, we had the effects of was it 2020 or was it 2016? Yeah, there was a bunch after the Obama years. We had a small economic downturn for about a month or so, because when you stop quantitative easing, there's going to be a little market hit, but then it goes right back upward. Everything does well afterward. But there's just a little healing period. We're going to have that. And what's going to happen is, I'm hoping that Donald Trump's not afraid to end this printing of the money in the near future and take a month or two of a downturn so it can go up again. Because the media is going to attack him no matter what. Politicians are afraid of that downturn, right? The politicians are deathly afraid of that.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to watch how this actually works. The other thing is, though, Donald Trump isn't worried about. Donald Trump is not worried about being reared. And that's very dangerous to the deep state as well. Yep. You have Robert F. Kennedy, who has had an axe to grind against the deep state for a long time. You got Musk. You have Ramaswamy. These people are going to come in and take instead of Javier Milei taking one hammer to the government, there are going to be 4 big guys taking hammers to the government, and then some.
Well, so I do want to talk for a minute about some of the things that should be done. So speaking of big government, it's great. I can see folks talking about that in the chat. But one of the things I think we should look at and acknowledge that I think President Trump won his 3rd term. He actually won in 2020, I think. And I think the evidence of that is apparent by the missing 20, is it 20 million, 15 million, 10 million? It always shifts.
Kamala-nomics. Yes.
Yeah. So somehow 10 million Democrats vanished. Is that possible? Do you think that happened, Chris?
Well, I do believe a lot of people look, again, it's for the most part, I still believe it's the mail-in ballots. Okay. I believe the COVID rules, they were taken down in some areas, and that's it. That's where the vote harvesters had their problems. You had your Stacey Abrams and other ground game types all over the place in Georgia. That didn't happen this time, and there are reasons for that. And there are also other reasons. I'm fully aware, and we all should be fully aware that Kamala Harris could have been president a year or two ago with Biden's mental decline. They could have 25th Amendmented them, but the Democrats didn't want that. The Democrats, for some reason, or somewhere along the line, somebody in power did not want Kamala Harris to be president, and that includes now. They probably could have skewed some results for her, but they didn't. Again, it's just
I think Kamala Harris. No, I just to that point. I think so much of what happened over the past 6 months had to do with the fact that I think even people who were on the left, who had a brain, and there are a few. I know we make fun of the left all the time, but there's some over there who are like Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah,
Tulsi was on the left and woke up. It's like, hey, my side isn't what they say they are. And so I think that's what happened. I think more and more people recognize that no matter how much they tried to have rock stars and personalities, Oprah, I didn't get paid anything. Well, how about this $1 million? Well, that didn't come to me. Well, it came to your production company. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah,
well, anyway,
ask Diddy.
Yeah, Diddy. It seems like the Diddy party list are the ones that showed up for Kamala. Is there a link there? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, a lot of them.
It seems to be a lot of baby oil was included in the Kamala endorsements.
She was involved with a lot of those people. What was that chick from the Novixia, whatever the heck, that cult from in the city, somewhere along the line, that weird cult? She was hanging around with those people. Then you have obviously people suspected on the Epstein list. She's in the thick of a lot of these things too, which I find interesting.
Well, there was a lot of thick women endorsing her, like Cardi
Ooh.
B,
Ow!
right?
That's gotta hurt. Or Lizzo, if you wanna
Man,
really go.
Lizzo, man, if you want thick, that's more than thick. I don't know what you even call that. It's like Goodyear blimp thick.
Yeah,
It's like
and her head's thick too, by the way. I mean, come on. She's definitely a
yeah.
thickie.
So clearly there was some issues relating to who they picked to be their surrogates. But the bottom line is, for those who are, the Patriots understand this. People woke up, and they're still waking up. And those on the left, like Lawrence O'Donnell and Rachel Maddow and
Mhm.
Joy Reid. By the way, do you think Joy's going to get fired if MSNBC gets bought?
Well, I was watching her meltdowns again, and she's just going off on white women this time. She apparently thinks that again, this whole finger pointing and blaming and everything that's going around everywhere. It's now going to a serious mental meltdown and mental decline for these people. She's actually telling black people to disassociate from white people, telling people to disassociate from their family for thinking differently. I mean, she is. I understand some of the rank and file millennials and Gen Zers are doing that because, well, that's what they do to get attention. But this one, I mean, I believe that she and the rest of the people at MSNBC believe they have free reign to spout this stuff all they want because they are in, or this, let's say they are, I'll say it's a cult mentality, but they are in a sort of band of or sort of brotherhood that will always protect each other. So I don't think she's going to get fired for these remarks because, hey, racism on the left is always justified. Always. And just like the misogyny on the left is always justified. The women
That's
are
true.
never qualified if they're Republican.
Well, that's why I think they want to make men dominate women's events. I mean,
Yeah.
look at how they want to put men in women's and girls' bathrooms, right? I mean, there's no doubt they want to do that.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do. So,
Well, look, as I said, maybe we could put a mop on our head and compete in college sports and see if we can do pretty well at college basketball.
yeah.
I still can shoot threes.
Do you think that Lawrence O'Donnell would be better if he transitioned to being a woman? You think that would be a good future for him? I think
Well,
it would.
then they'll confuse him with Rachel Maddow.
Yeah. Well, they could compete.
Maybe. I don't know if Lawrence O'Donnell is ready to compete with some of these good college athletes as well.
Well,
But I get what you're saying.
I think celebrity arm wrestling would be a great thing for Lawrence and all the MSNBC stars. I think Maddow would take them all. Maddow, is that her name?
Yeah,
Rachel Maddow,
Or Billy Idol. I think she has that
Billy
lip.
Idol.
You ever watch her talk? She has that lip that goes up like Billy Idol. It's watching like watching a Billy Idol video. Eyes without a face. That's how
Or like
she's.
Elvis. Maybe it's
Yeah,
Elvis.
there you go. Oh boy. Yeah. Maybe we should offer a little taste of Joy Reid. How about this? Joy Reid was offering her wisdom today, very recently on X, as she usually does, and sometimes I like to kind of watch her and her commentary for a few laughs. So let's see if we can get that up here for a little bit, just
Yeah,
to entertain Tony today, because
sure.
yeah. So let's get Tony's take on Joy Reid's take on Donald Trump commentary. So this is going to be a lot of fun here. Let's hear some joyless joy.
Y'all listen to this.
Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. We are going to have real education in America. Thank you.
So, in other words, reparations for white people.
What?
See, that was all nicely built up. And she just takes the overly simplistic view of the whole thing and says, reparations for white people. And I bet she
Unbelievable.
spells it YT like they do on the like some of these racists do on social media. But she just doesn't get it.
So, no, I mean, look, I've talked about this with the Patriots and on other shows. I enlisted in '81. I went to Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio.
Right.
We had a Black Cultural Center, which I thought should have just been a cultural center for all races, which eventually kind of became. Inclusivity is the key. So I guess we're ready to bring in our guest finally, Chris.
I think we are, and we have again
Good.
special guest who's we were hoping to have with us before, but we have her on now. Paula Jones.
Paula
Welcome.
Jones.
Yes.
Welcome,
Oh my
Paula.
gosh, y'all don't understand. I am so computer illiterate. I had to figure this out. I don't know.
Well, we appreciate
We
I'm
got you here.
sorry.
We got you here. That's okay. You made us have to listen to Joy read a little bit longer. So that's your fault.
Oh wow, I know. Hey, we're gonna have to practice this, but I've been so busy lately. I'm sorry, but hey, I'm on. At least I'm on right now.
That's
Well,
true.
thanks, Paula. Well, obviously, you and I follow each other on Facebook. We always have great exchanges, and I appreciate you coming on today to talk about your observations of what happened and where we're
Yes.
going. So, you believe in freedom, right?
Oh
we
my
love
gosh,
freedom.
absolutely. Well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't need to be in this
Joy
country.
Reid doesn't.
Yeah, apparently Joy Behar and Joy Reid and Sonny
They
Hostin don't. Yes, very
Well,
happy
here's
people
what
they
I'm
are.
trying to figure out is why
Yeah.
in the world don't they get on that plane and get out of here? Go.
Yeah.
They keep saying it, but they keep threatening like we're scared or something. Get out. We want them to go.
Yeah, what kind of threat is Whoopi Goldberg
Yeah.
saying, or some kind of like marginal star saying, "I'm going to leave"? Yeah, fine, big deal. If somebody else will replace
Go.
mixed men in, done.
Right.
Hey,
Well,
maybe we could find some kind of. I don't want to send them to an island because that's too nice. Maybe the dungeon or
Oh,
maybe somewhere where there's like the what is it called?
we can't be like the Biden administration and imprison people that don't agree with us.
No,
We
no,
could
no,
just-
no.
but-
Paula will send them to Boris. What's his name in England? Chris.
I forget. Oh, yeah, the Labor Party. Yeah, they want a communist party. They can take the Labor Party for
Yeah,
5
let's
years
go to,
over
send
and-
them
Well-
to England. Yeah,
I mean,
let them
we
be
could
in the
just-
UK.
Why
Boris
can't we just help
Johnson.
them out?
They could be in Boris Johnson's little outhouse in the back of his shack. I think it'd be great.
They could go to
Yeah,
the
so-
Amazon or wherever. Yeah, they can. I don't know.
Well,
But it's
So,
Keir.
Paula,
I think it's Keir Starmer now, isn't it? The Prime
he's-
Minister.
Yes, kill Stammer. Kill
Well,
Kel Stammer.
Anthony, I'm just wondering, were you on the short list for Donald Trump? Because you should have
So,
been doing something.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
so because I get this question all the time. So let me-
Secretary of Defense, is that what it would be? Yeah, wouldn't that
No,
be
no,
what
no,
it?
no, no. So
I
basically,
don't know.
no. Let me, because people are asking. I get it all the time. So let me be clear. So everybody, I'll give one answer so everybody understands. So back in June,
Mhm.
I was at the Chesapeake, Virginia rally,
Uh-huh.
met with the president, and he said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I don't know. What do you want me to do?" He said, "I don't know. Think
My.
about it." So let me finish.
Okay.
So what happened was, I thought about it, and then my son went and met with President Trump 2 weeks ago yesterday, and I sent the president a note with what I want. So that's all I can say is I gave him what I want.
Oh wow.
We'll see if he gives me what I requested. So that's
So you're not going to
that's-
tell us. You're not going. You're just going to make us guess.
We'll see what happens. So
Oh,
I
that's
think
awesome.
I think it'd be a good job. We'll see if he thinks so.
I think
Well,
so.
we'll
So
see.
far, he's
So-
doing a great job picking
I think so.
everybody. You would
Yeah,
be.
no, look,
Yeah, I like
I know
the picks.
Tulsi. I know Pete. I know Mike Waltz.
Mhm.
And he's no Tim Waltz. I'll say that, by the way, too.
No,
He-
I take
Oh, I Lord. resemble
that remark. Yeah. Hey,
Ooh.
SNL. If Gaffigan doesn't want to do Tim Walz anymore and he doesn't fade into obscurity for 2 minutes, I'll play it at least for the one episode where he says goodbye. I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to assistant coaching high school football. That's where the kids are and the commies are. The TCP are. So I'm going.
You would definitely
So,
get
Paula,
your
what do you
10
make-
minutes of fame. Go ahead.
What do you make of the freak out? Because I mean, everybody on the left is freaking out. Is you think? And by the way, do you think we should advocate for Bono from U2 to drive off a cliff in a car because he's threatened to do that? It's like that would be at least interesting. I
Well,
would-
who's
I
doing
mean,
that? Maybe I
around.
didn't hear about it. What was it now?
So Bono has threatened if Trump won, which he did,
I
Yeah.
haven't heard
drive
that.
off a cliff in a car. So
Well,
we
then why would
encourage
he
him to do
want
that?
to see? And this is just proves to me how insane some of those people are. Why would you want to hurt yourself? You're not hurting us by doing that. You're
Right.
the one that's going to harm yourself. You know, why do they do that? Why do they even threaten? Because we don't care what y'all do.
No, no, I
Right.
know.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
it's the same reason. It's the same reason these millennials who are, and these Gen X, Gen Zers, not Xers. We're good people here. The Gen Zers and millennials sit there and videotape themselves crying and whining about, oh, Trump is
they're holding their
wonderful."
heads and screaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shaving their heads and everything else because
Oh,
they
good,
want
good.
attention.
Hmm.
Nobody's heard from Bono in the last 3 or 4 years because nobody wanted to hear him. That's the whole thing. And now he says, "Oh, well, I'm going to leave and jump off a cliff." Fine, do that. You know, we have you haven't had anything good since 1992 anyway. So hey, we're
It's
good
like
with
they
it.
think we're going to stop them. Okay,
Right.
well,
Yeah,
if that's
right.
what you want to do, that's your choice. Remember, you have freedom of choice. Remember,
Right.
oh, is that only when you
Yeah.
kill a baby?
Borrow my car. I can
Oh, I
use the
know.
insurance money. All right, there we go. Done.
Oh my gosh, they're totally. Some of them are just off of their rockers, and I wonder how did it get to this point? Why do they not want freedom? Why do they not want that? If they don't want it, they need to leave the country. They need to go to Mexico or somewhere else where they don't have all those freedoms. And then they'll decide, wait a minute, maybe I do want those freedoms now.
Right.
But
It's
but
crazy.
but Paula, they want the freedoms for themselves, not us.
Not for
Remember,
everybody else. Right.
so much of what they talk
That's
about is
true.
trying to find a way
That-
to remove our ability to speak. Remember, anything we say is disinformation
mhm,
or somehow deceptive.
always.
Anytime they say something, no matter how wackadoodle, I love that word, by the way.
Yes.
That's like
It
Joe
is.
Behar's middle name, Joy Wackadoodle
Wackadoodle. Yeah.
Behar.
Wackadoo.
Really, I went on The View one time, and well, I've
Oh,
been
did
on.
you? Tell us
I
about
was on-
that.
How long ago was the wow?
Yeah, tell us about this. This is good.
Yes, we got to hear
It was
this.
either once or twice. I know for sure I was on there once, and I was in the green room with Eric Roberts, and he was. I think he's more on our side. Maybe not. I was thinking he was maybe on our
It
side.
depends.
You know who that is? That's Julia Roberts' brother.
Right.
And they're like split.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Yeah.
let me just tell you, it was when Star Jones was on there. And they were all very nice and kind. But Joey loved me, even though we were so far apart in probably most of everything in our lives. But she actually had her people contact me later, wanted me to do, I think, her radio or podcast or something, but I never went on. And it had been back and forth a few times. Even though she didn't probably like me, I think she did like me. I don't know, but that was weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean, to your point, though, I think there's a certain level of common ground that most of us could work from. It's like
Right.
neither side is perfect. And I used to always, as a matter of fact, Chris, put the picture of Tulsi me back up. I posted this on X yesterday,
Uh-huh.
last night, as a matter of fact, congratulating Tulsi Gabbard. And I don't know if Chris can bring it up because I
Well,
put a
she's come a
picture
long
of-
way, hadn't she?
She has, and that's my point.
That's-
It's like there's a
yes.
picture of
Yes.
she and I selfie of she and I in her office when she was a Democrat member of Congress. At the time of the picture being taken, she was a Democrat. I was part of the Trump campaign,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
and kumbaya, we got along because
Oh,
we found common
some
ground.
common, right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so
And-
that's my point. It's like we actually were working together when she was a Democrat. Why?
Right.
Because there were issues that she felt her party weren't addressing. So I was working with her to make sure they got addressed. Right?
Right.
That's the right thing to do.
And
it
that-
is the right thing to
it
do.
is. If
Right.
you can, my biggest thing is on that is I can get along with them on most, maybe probably things, but when it comes to killing babies, I can't.
Yeah.
There's no way I
Right.
can
Right.
I can talk to someone and sit across the table or break bread with someone that actually wants to kill a baby, but then they want to go to church and pretend that they're Christians. And that's where all these hypocrites come in at, because you cannot, I'm sorry, you cannot be a
Right.
Christian and be a Democrat or a communist. You cannot for those things. You cannot be for those things. It's just pure murder.
I
And you know
agree.
what kills me is those women say it's about reproductive rights. That has nothing to do with it. You have a right, just
Right.
like everybody else does, to go to a gynecologist to keep your health up with your female stuff. That is, you're right,
Yeah.
absolutely. But it needs to stop. It is over the top when you talk about murdering your baby. But you will, if
Right.
you was to kill an animal, they got onto that Christy Noun for killing her dog because she was shot it because it was protecting their farm animals or whatever, okay? Because it kept eating them and stuff. But they will crucify her for shooting a dog, and that is just horrible. But a baby, that is your right to kill it, to just pull it apart. It is absolutely insane. There is no other word for it. No
Right.
word.
I agree. And I think this is where so many on the left don't. I mean, I don't understand how Nancy Pelosi or Joe Biden have any access to any church, because Nancy is.
What is their pastor saying to them?
I don't know.
Well, I suppose they just let them in and saying, "Oh well, I get they'll be gone
No,
after an hour. We don't
What
want to."
about Biden? There was an issue with the Catholics and Biden. Biden says he's a good Catholic.
No, there was,
What does that even mean? What does
Well,
that even mean at this point?
It's
Right.
just name only. There's
Well-
no practicing it, their religion or whatever it is. They're no,
no,
there is no way.
Archbishop Vigano also put an announcement saying it was a sin to vote for Harris mainly because of the abortion issue, but also because of the whole deep state issues and things like that
Right.
with everything else that's going on.
And
Even
allowing all these gay marriages and stuff, it's just not biblical. It's not right. It's just not right. Why? And I know maybe hey, I can talk what I want to here. I'm just going to say
this is a free
It's-
speech platform.
it's
so it's all
crazy.
good.
It's insane. And there's something wrong. And like Donald Trump said, it's mental health, and it's okay because everybody has a brain. We all have a heart and lungs and everything else. And if there's an issue with it, you're going to get it taken care of. Well, if you're acting crazy like that, that is not normal. God did not create us to be wanting to be with each other unless we're friendship, but not sexually. So there needs to be more mental illness and awareness of that kind of a situation. And the parents are to blame, if you ask me, the ones that are raising these weirdos up. They should take a hold of them and say, we need to get you help.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm
It
sorry.
is.
That's what I think.
Hey,
Is
you
that
know
okay?
what?
Yep.
And it's again, this is a free speech platform because that's what we do here. Free speech is back in America. You're not going to be canceled just because you have an opinion here.
Well-
And that's a good thing about these kind of
I
platforms.
mean, it doesn't mean I don't love them, and I have some gay friends actually,
Oh, I do too.
and they're great, and they're nice, and they're great, but they don't push that stuff on me.
No.
You would never know a lot of them, and they're great people. But Trumpers, MAGA people. I mean, seriously, they are huge supporters of him, and it's just but it's just not right, and I hope they turn around before their time one day. You know what I'm saying?
Well-
But this cutting off little kids' testicles and all that stuff when they're 5 years old and said that my child is a girl, that is, oh my, there is no words.
That's mutilation right there. That's child abuse and mutilation right there.
It is.
In fact, there are some states that were trying to rescind those laws stopping genital mutilation because of this whole thing.
Right. Well,
Oh,
so
that's
Paula, you should talk to our friend Cherie Curry, because this is what Cherie
Yep.
is actually stopping her professional singing career. Chris, show her your t-shirt, because I was just.
Oh yeah, okay. I have my eye because
No, I'm
here
serious,
she is. This is Cherie
Okay.
Curry from the Runaways.
Yeah, she
one of the
just-
coolest
and then
bands
she-
ever,
Okay,
by
I've
the
seen
way.
y'all talk about her. I think
We
on your
love
Facebook
Cherie.
Facebook page.
She's the coolest.
So
Yeah.
she's working with Gays Against Groomers.
Okay.
And Chris, we need to have the Gays Against Groomers person on. I forgot to mention that to you.
Oh,
He's great.
We'll get him on. I'm fine with that. I'd like
Because she has said the Gays Against Groomer group, they're gay. They're lesbians. I've met them. They're very gay. Can I say
Right.
that? I guess I can say that, right?
it's all
Well, I
good.
mean, they want to be called queer nowadays. I mean, they don't get offended
They
by
don't
that.
want to be
They
part
don't.
of the.
But nobody
They don't
wants
want to be part
Runners.
of the XYZ. Yeah, they're not part
So
of it.
they have a
said-
different within that group. They even have a different beliefs and belief.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think that's what's important to recognize, is not everybody on the gay and lesbian side
Right. They are
want to
weird.
be
Or
part of this. Right.
yes,
And so
I
Cherie-
totally get that. Yes,
So
because
Cherie
like
is
I said, I have
leaving.
some great friends that are really. Yeah, I have some good friends.
Yeah. Well, Cherie's going to be
and what gets me
focusing on
is
that.
they say that they have a right to live as they want. Well, yes, they do, absolutely. But I just don't feel like marriage. We should never. That should be a personal thing in your private backyard or whatever. But there should not be no laws that say, well,
So,
you can get married.
right.
That's where it
Paula, do
crosses the
you?
line for me. But
Well,
you
let me
can
ask you a
live.
question about that. So, do you think that Jake Sullivan and Lawrence O'Donnell should get married?
Who?
Because I think that
You
would
know,
be a
you're
good.
talking about what?
Jake Sullivan.
Oh,
Well,
you see big
you've seen
heads.
Jake Sullivan on the Muppet Show, right?
I don't know, y'all. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm.
Put a picture up. Put
Yeah,
a
yeah.
picture up, Chris.
I'll get a picture of him.
You
up
must
there
have
for you.
Beaker available. Where's
I
Beaker?
always have Beaker available. I mean, you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's
But
the.
you know, sometimes I feel like I do need to have a call in to talk about certain things and talk, and all that stuff. I want to do a podcast, and if I do, y'all are going to come on my podcast.
Oh, we'll definitely come on the podcast.
Oh,
We'll have a lot of
I'd
fun
love
there.
that.
We have a lot
Okay,
of. We
I'm
have
gonna
other.
get. I
See,
think I
that's
know a
Jake
few
Sullivan.
people. Oh my gosh! Okay, so who is that one? Who is that?
That's Jake Sullivan.
Sullivan.
But it could be Lawrence O'Donnell. They're very interchangeable,
Oh my
Oh.
gosh! Okay, so who that and who else you were talking about?
Lawrence O'Donnell. Put Lawrence up.
Well, I could put Lawrence
Cause see, I
O'Donnell up.
don't know these people. Y'all, look, I just stay in my
Oh,
house
wow.
and decorate.
There's always John Kerry.
Oh my
Oh, there's
gosh,
John Kerry.
yes. Boy,
That old Boltnick. There he is. The climate czar. Notice how he's got algae growing on his forehead. I guess he's really into the green movement, right?
Well, I can actually get you a picture of both. I actually have a picture of both Jake Sullivan and Lawrence O'Donnell.
Uh-oh.
oh,
There they are.
Oh.
Yeah, there they are.
hey, no, that looks like Tim Walsh.
That
That looks just
I have
like
more
him.
hair than that.
Tim
You're gonna
Walls
be kidding
after,
me.
after
Just like
Taco
the one,
Tuesday.
the
Yeah,
green one.
that's Tim Walls after Taco Tuesday. He turned green after the tacos. Just saying.
Yeah, he's a little bloated.
Well, when I'm around all those kids coaching football, I mean, I like
So,
to. They call me.
Paula, let me ask you that. Yeah, so you're a good one to talk about this. So, do you think that where did Tim Walls get his Tinkerbell energy from? Is that
Oh
something that
Lord,
just-
I think he might be
I
a little
mean-
light in the loafers, to tell you the truth. This little Tinkerbell energy. There was some videos going around, but you can't believe everything you see.
No.
So I'm not saying it was true about him having a cowboy hat on and he was dancing around with his with a top, a short top on and some black
Yeah.
tight shorts. Did y'all see that?
Yeah,
What
Yeah,
do you think?
I think
Was that
it's him.
true?
I don't know. If not, it could be.
Hey,
I mean,
if that
he's very
was,
light.
we know for sure. He's a Tinkerbell, light in the loafers. He got some sugar britches. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he likes
Haven't heard that
burning
one in a
cities
long
and
time.
shooting his citizens with paintballs, right?
What was that?
So he's actually likes burning cities. He let Minneapolis burn, and then during COVID, he was shooting his citizens with paintballs,
Y'all, that
and
is.
sticking their heads outside their houses.
Oh,
Yep.
In this, it's like really, it's
And
like,
don't
yeah,
forget
the
the
guy is
snitch
like,
they're
line.
crazy.
The snitch
Yeah,
line is
he's
annoying
crazy,
too.
evil.
They're crazy.
By the
I
way,
mean,
Yeah.
it's also a sad. I just received some sad news from that I should really tell you guys about. I'm upset about this. I've never been this upset before in my entire life.
what?
I'm upset. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna record a video of me crying over this, Tony.
What?
Paula.
Okay,
Joy
Chris.
Reid. Joy Reid has left X. She's deleted her account.
No, no.
What happened to her?
I don't know. It's so sad.
Is she joining? Is she joining Bono to go off the cliff in the car?
She's already been off the deep
It'd be
end. so, I think
Bono
we're fine.
and what's her name? Is it a Thelma and Louise? They just fly right off of the top of it.
That would be great.
Well, that
That,
movie
I'd
had a
pay to
happy
see
ending.
that. I'd put some real money down to see that. I mean,
They're the
Oh.
ones that's saying that. Hey, y'all, I think I look weird on this thing. I'm going to have to figure out how y'all look better than me up there. On
no,
the
that's not true. You look wonderful.
Yeah, you look better
You
than
look
us.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh, you
come
look
on.
wonderful.
I look
I
like
look
this.
like I'm crooked or something. I'll learn this. I will
No. You're
eventually.
good.
No, you look
Y'all
fine.
are just
Well,
sitting.
Chris will work with you.
Yeah, we'll get that together. Especially
Yeah,
when your
I
podcast comes out. We'll work with you on that one too. So that'll
Yeah.
be fun. Yeah.
So, well, Paul, it's been great having you today. We appreciate you joining us. We want to have you come back more often
Yes.
as a
Yes,
regular
yes.
because this is a great the Patriots love you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to
Well,
have
good.
more of a
I love them
conversation
too.
on everything.
Y'all,
This is great.
I love all the
So-
support I've ever gotten. People have just been so
Oh.
nice.
Paula, we're friends on Facebook. You have a lot of support. We all
Uh-huh.
love you, and I think we have a great exchange. And The Patriots here, we all just want to have a community where we can talk and share our
Common views. Yes.
Yep.
yeah, our point of views and be
Yes.
by the way, Rumble picked up a lot of folks during this time because YouTube and other mainstream outlets were suppressing
censoring, yep.
speech.
Yes.
So there's no
Oh, okay.
suppression here, thank goodness.
Well,
So there
maybe
you go.
that'll change now since our man's back in office. Donald
Yeah,
Trump's back in
well,
office.
certain folks will never give in. I think YouTube is devoted to the Soviet left. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
But the CCP
Yeah, I
left, if
think
you will.
so.
Yes.
Okay,
And there
great.
could be a
Well,
miracle, but anyway.
could be. And yeah, and so someone said, Paula, you're so cute in the chats, and you are.
Aw,
So thank you for being
that's
here.
nice.
Thank you. That was very kind.
So-
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, so we got to roll. I got to go
Okay,
because
it
Chris
was
and I got to
fun.
do some other
Thanks,
stuff.
y'all. It
Thanks,
was so
Paula.
much
Yep.
fun.
And don't
Good
forget Trick.
seeing you. We'll have you back. And
Okay.
then Chris, we got to go because we got to do some taping later today, and I got to get rid
Okay.
of some other stuff. So
Yep. And
So
don't
Chris-
forget
Okay. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Trixie and
You
Deborah
too.
Leonard tomorrow. So they'll be here tomorrow. Okay.
Bye-bye.
all right.
See y'all.
So and Chris, you and I will be back Monday, right? We're going to be back on regular schedule.
As a matter of
Next
fact,
week.
we're back on Mondays. At this point, it's such an enjoyable thing that Bob Geldof now changed his song to "I Like Mondays."
Well, I like our Mondays. I don't like their Mondays, but the left has a permanent case of Mondays.
Nice, great movie. Again, we got to do more Office Space references.
We need to. You should get some clips ready for Monday for the
Oh,
for the Doge. It's like Peter, you've been missing a lot of work. Well, Bob, I wouldn't say I've been missing work.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's what's going to happen. And I still want to see more Javier Milei hammering. So we'll get that.
Oh yeah.
It'll be
Oh, he
terrific.
was great. This is
That's right.
God. This is God. This is God.
That's what we're going to see
Yeah.
too, and that's going to be fantastic. Good.
All
It's
right.
it's going to be a good few years for America.
Oh yeah. And just thank you all for being here. We'll see you next week.
See you then.
Okay, folks. Chris and I'll be back. We'll have some great guests for you next week. Hopefully some surprise guests. We'll see what we can drum up over the weekend, right?
You bet.
All right. Thanks, Patriots. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. I guess Trixie's here tomorrow. Is that true?
Trixie and Deborah Lynn are here tomorrow.
They'll be here tomorrow. Well, and
Yes.
by the way, we should have them on our show too sometime too. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, folks. See you next week.